Many men live convinced that money appears through luck, connections, or an opportunity that falls from the sky, and they wait for that perfect moment that supposedly will change everything while their reality remains trapped in scarcity. They depend on factors beyond their control and delude themselves, believing that one day something external will save them. But the truth is uncomfortable and direct. Money does not respond to luck, it responds to discipline. It moves towards where there is order, focus, and constant action. It does not need the world to change, it needs you to change first. Over time, it becomes evident that wealth is not something that is desperately pursued, it is something that is attracted as a consequence of who you decide to be each day. When a person learns to use their time well, to direct their energy, and to maintain firm habits, money begins to approach them almost effortlessly. It is not magic, it is consistency. Excellence does not appear overnight. It is built by repeating the right thing, even when there are no immediate results. And that is where most fail, because the formula is simple, but it requires character. Money has never been a privilege reserved for a few. It is the direct result of how you organize yourself, the decisions you make, and the discipline you maintain when no one is watching. Thinking that everything depends on luck is the first mistake that keeps many stagnant. Money flows to those who create value, to those who deliver on their promises, and to those who become reliable over time. When you become productive, responsible, and consistent, the market begins to respond because it always rewards those who solve problems with quality. Every day you have a silent choice that defines your future. You can spend your time on distractions that yield nothing, or you can invest it in actions that build results. The average man is scattered, procrastinates, talks more than he does, and spends without thinking. Then he is surprised when he has nothing. The disciplined man acts differently. Gets up with intention, gets organized, keeps his word, and does a little more than necessary. These habits make him someone valuable, someone who does not need to chase opportunities, because opportunities start looking for him. Money does not follow what you say, it follows what you do. You can repeat positive ideas or imagine a better life, but if your daily behavior doesn't change, nothing will change. The real test is not in what you promise to do someday, it's in how you manage what you already have today. If you neglect a little, you won't care for much. If you don't know how to multiply the small, you'll never sustain the big. Discipline is the bridge between what you want and what you actually achieve, won't save. And that bridge is built with actions, not intentions. Many believe that they must first earn more to start saving, but that idea keeps them trapped. Saving doesn't depend on how much comes in, it depends on how much you control. True wealth is not built by those who earn the most, but by those who manage it best. Every peso has a purpose, and you decide whether to waste it or put it to work. When you choose to save even a little, when you decide to invest instead of spending senselessly, you send a clear message to your mind: I am responsible. I am ready for more. If there is scarcity in your life today, don't just ask yourself what you lack. Ask yourself what habits are keeping you from money. Maybe you waste time, avoid responsibilities, or spend on unnecessary things. Money doesn't just disappear by chance. It moves away from those who reject it with their behavior and toward those who attract it with order. When you start living with intention and discipline, your entire life changes direction. Money always seeks stability and flees from chaos. A man who doesn't control his time, who improvises every day and spends without thinking, is showing that he's not prepared for more. Conversely, one who manages their finances, respects their time, and fulfills their commitments, sends a clear message: I can handle more. And money responds to that message because it needs a safe place to grow. That place isn't luck, it's their daily habits. Many people spend years waiting for the ideal moment, the perfect opportunity, or the right contact. In the meantime, time passes, debts grow, and promises accumulate. The reality is that opportunity doesn't appear by accident, it's built with daily discipline. Money comes to those who are already moving, to those who do something to improve, even if it's small. You don't need perfect conditions to get started. You need determination. You can start right now with what you have. If you earn little, manage it better. If you have little time, organize it better. If you don't know enough, start learning. Every time you choose to work instead of procrastinating, to save instead of spending, or to learn instead of getting distracted, you are building a foundation that you may not see at first, but that will sustain your success when it arrives. Wealth does not appear suddenly, it accumulates silently. Money does not come to those who urgently want it, it comes to those who demonstrate that they are ready to handle it. The question is not when it will arrive. The question is whether you are already behaving like someone who deserves abundance. If the answer is no, then the change is not about waiting any longer, it is about acting better starting today. Money does not understand excuses, it understands results. Wealth is not an accident or a stroke of luck, it is the sum of thousands of small decisions made every day. Every peso you save, every hour you use well, and every action you take brings you a little closer. And there comes a time when all that accumulated effort begins to bear fruit. Then, money stops being something you chase because you have already become someone who is naturally attracted to it. There are two types of men, the one who waits and the one who does. That difference changes everything. Money acts as a mirror that reflects who you really are. It's not just about how much you make, it's about how you live with what you have, A man without discipline can receive a lot of money and lose it all. A disciplined man can start with little and make it grow. The difference isn't where you start, it's in the pattern you repeat every day. Many people believe that money will solve their problems, but in reality, it only amplifies them. If your habits are weak, more money will bring bigger mistakes. But if your life is in order, every additional income becomes an advantage. Money doesn't change you, it exposes you. That's why discipline must come before abundance. If you don't strengthen your character, every opportunity will pass you by. But if you do, money won't just come, it'll stay. Financial discipline starts with the basics. Don't spend what you don't have, set aside a portion of each income, avoid unnecessary debt, and keep track of your money. These are simple actions, but they build something powerful. Self-confidence. Every time you follow this order, you demonstrate that you can control your life, and this control doesn't stop at money, it extends to all areas. Working more hours isn't always the answer. You can work hard all day and still be in the same place if you don't direct your energy well. The key is to focus on what truly creates value. The market doesn't pay for fatigue, it pays for results. When you decide to learn, improve, and solve important problems, your value increases, and with it, your income. Choosing where to focus your efforts wisely is also discipline. Remember this. Money is a consequence, never a cause. It doesn't come by wishing for it or expecting it. It comes as a result of daily discipline. If you want more money, stop asking for results and start building character, focus, and consistency. When that happens, money will come because you are already the type of person capable of sustaining it. Most people keep waiting for something external to change their lives while they waste their days on distractions and excuses. But money doesn't listen to promises, it watches behavior. If your life shows order and commitment, money comes closer. If it shows disorder, it moves away. It's that simple. It all starts with a daily decision. To act like someone who deserves abundance even when you don't feel like it. It's not about doing something extraordinary just once. It's about repeating the right thing every single day. Discipline accumulates. Every day you control your time, money, and energy, you strengthen your future. Every day you give in to comfort and clutter, you weaken it. You decide which path to follow. Money doesn't come to those who want it, it comes to those who become worthy of it. And that worthiness isn't declared, it's built through actions. Fewer words, more deeds. Fewer excuses, more discipline. That's where it all begins. When you make order a firm habit, something changes completely. You stop chasing money because you start becoming someone who can handle it. Money responds to that. It doesn't seek intentions, it seeks stability. Every dollar misused takes you further from your freedom. Every dollar well-directed brings you closer. The difference isn't how much you earn, it's how you act with what you already have. That's where it all comes down to it. In the small, in the daily, in what no one sees. The common man lives seeking immediate satisfaction. He spends without thinking, acts on impulse, and sacrifices his future for a moment of pleasure. The disciplined man understands something different. Knows how to wait, knows how to say no, and knows that each decision made today builds his tomorrow. That difference separates those who live in debt from those who build a solid life. It is not a matter of luck, it is a matter of control. Financial discipline does not only transform your money, it transforms your identity. Every time you save, you reinforce your control. Every time you invest, you train your mind to think long-term. Every time you avoid unnecessary spending, you show that you are not a slave to your impulses. And that repetition creates confidence. A silent confidence that turns you into someone firm, someone who no longer reacts, but rather decides. You must understand this without beating around the bush. Money does not change you, it exposes you. If you live in disorder today, when you have more, that same disorder will lead you to lose everything. But if you live with discipline today, when you have more, that discipline will multiply it. That is why there is no point in waiting to earn more to change. The time is now with whatever little or much you have. Because what you are building is not just money, it is character. Money does not respect dreams, it respects systems. You can imagine a better life, repeat positive ideas, or talk about abundance, but if you do not have a system that supports your actions, everything remains just words. The man who truly progresses has structure, wakes up with a plan, organizes his day, executes without excuses, saves with intention, and uses his money with purpose. He does not do something big once, he does the right thing every day. Discipline accumulates even if it is not noticeable at first. Each day of orderly action, each conscious decision, each avoided expense, and each well-directed effort builds a strong foundation. At first it seems slow, even frustrating, but that consistency creates stability. And when there is stability, the money begins to arrive because it finds a place where it can stay. Here is another uncomfortable truth. Discipline changes the relationship you have with yourself. When you fulfill your goals, you strengthen your confidence. Each time you fail, it weakens it, and that internal relationship defines everything else. Abundance begins within, not without. If you want money to come to you, stop waiting for the perfect moment. Start today with what you have. Every disciplined decision attracts results. Every carelessness pushes them away. Money doesn't hide, it simply responds to your behavior. And when your life shows order, money appears, money appears. Money always moves towards control and away from disorder. No matter how much talent you have, if your life is chaotic, you won't be able to sustain anything. But when you bring order to your mind, your time, and your finances, you create a solid foundation. And on that foundation, growth is inevitable. It's not about working more, it's about working better, directing your energy toward what truly creates value, stopping just surviving, and starting to build. Discipline isn't just about effort, it's about direction. It's about deciding where you invest your time and attention each day. If you want to change your reality, start by mastering 3 areas: your time, your energy, and your money. Wasted time doesn't come back, energy misuse doesn't produce, money without control disappears. Everything demands responsibility. You can expect abundance if you tolerate waste. The disciplined man turns every hour into progress, every action into progress, and every penny into opportunity. At first it seems small, but over time it accumulates. And that accumulation creates results that others don't understand because they were never consistent. Wealth doesn't start in the bank, it starts in your mindset. If you see yourself as having no control, you act like you have no control. But if you see yourself as having no discipline, your actions will change. And those repeated actions will take you to a level that few others can achieve. Before you ask for more, become more, because money always follows a man who already lives as if he deserves what he wants. And when that happens, he stops chasing money. Money begins to follow him. Let this sink in because it's an uncomfortable truth. No amount of wealth can sustain a man without discipline, and there's no ceiling for a man who does. The question isn't how much money do you want? The question is, what do your habits reflect today? If your life is disorderly, money will recede. If you are in control and consistent, money will come. And when discipline stops being an idea and becomes a firm decision, something changes. Once you stop chasing after wealth, the wealth begins to come toward you. Money doesn't just appear by chance or magic. It comes as a direct result of how you live each day. Every decision you make, every habit you repeat is a silent message you send, If that message is full of excuses, impulses, and disorder, the result will be scarcity. But if that message speaks of control, responsibility, and focus, the answer will be abundance. Money doesn't listen to what you say you want, it sees what you demonstrate with actions. Prosperity doesn't start with something big, it starts with the everyday. It starts when you decide not to spend on unnecessary things, when you fulfill your savings, even if it's small, when you stand up with purpose while others keep procrastinating. It starts when you use your time to learn instead of getting distracted. Each of these actions is a seed, and when they are planted consistently, they end up bearing fruit. It may seem slow, but it is inevitable. Many fall into the trap of looking for shortcuts. They want quick money, easy solutions, effortless paths, and all they get is wasted time, money, and confidence. The reality is simple. Sustainable wealth never comes from shortcuts, it comes from discipline. If you want stability, you need stable habits. Consistency, as boring as it may seem, always beats any promise of quick success. Money also follows the man who becomes valuable. And value doesn't just appear out of nowhere, it's built silently. It's built when you learn more than average, when you practice more than everyone else, and when you give it your all, even when no one is watching. The world doesn't reward the loudest talker, it rewards the best solver. And when you become someone who solves problems, money ceases to be an issue at all. Understand this firmly. It's not about waiting for money to come. It's about becoming someone that money can't ignore. A man who is reliable, consistent, disciplined, and has self-respect, when he achieves that, abundance ceases to be a distant goal and becomes a natural consequence. Money always ends up following the man who knows how to govern himself. Money is not a mystery or a private privilege. It is a clear reflection of who you are. Many people spend years waiting for luck, but luck without discipline is useless. Even if money comes, it will go just as quickly. Scarcity is not born of bad luck, it is born of bad habits. Abundance is not a miracle either. It is the result of correct decisions repeated over time. Money does not respect intentions, it respects coherence. And that coherence is built in silence. When no one is looking, a disciplined person can start with little and make it grow. An undisciplined person can receive a lot and lose it in months. Money only amplifies what you already are. If there is order, it multiplies it. If there is chaos, it destroys it. That is why you must understand something key. Money is not pursued, it is attracted. And it is attracted when you demonstrate control. Control to say no to what weakens you and yes to what strengthens you. When you demonstrate that you can take care of the little, life trusts you more. When you demonstrate that you can multiply the small, the door to the great opens for you. That is the law that many ignore. Many say they need to earn more to start, but that's an excuse. If you cannot manage a little, you won't manage a lot. Money doesn't change you, it reveals you. That's why character is built first, and then wealth. Financial discipline starts with the basics. Spending less than you earn, saving consistently, using your money wisely, and focusing on growth. A disciplined man doesn't just improve his finances, he transforms from within. Every time they save instead of spending, it shows they have control. Every time they invest, they train their mind to think beyond the present. Every time they keep their word, they strengthen their confidence. And that confidence is the foundation of all, as it lets them sustain success when it arrives. Money follows value, and if you want more money, you have to become someone who contributes more focus, more discipline, more commitment. It's not luck, it's cause and effect. The more value you generate, the more opportunities appear. And when opportunities appear, money follows. Wealth doesn't start in your bank account, it starts in your mind. If you think like a messy person, you'll act like a messy person. Think like a disciplined person, your actions will reflect it. And those actions repeated every day will take you to a level that most never reach because they were never consistent. Money comes when your entire life demonstrates that you are ready, not when you wish it, not when you imagine it, but when you prove it with facts. When your timing is in order, when your money has direction, when your work has purpose, and your character is steadfast. At that point, money stops being a struggle and becomes a consequence. It doesn't matter where it comes from or how much you have today. What matters is the standard you decide to accept from now on. The moment you raise that standard and stop tolerating disorder, your reality begins to change. Not because the world changes, but because you change first. And when that happens, opportunities begin to appear. Being ready is not waiting for something to happen outside, it is acting today. It is organizing your time, respecting your work, taking care of your resources, and stopping living on automatic. It is becoming someone who does not need to chase opportunities because the way you live makes opportunities chase you. Your financial future doesn't depend on luck. It depends on what you do today. It depends on your decisions, your habits, and your discipline. And if today you decide to act with focus, character, and control, today you can start the path to a different life. If this message spoke clearly to you, do something right now. Write in the comments, "Today I choose discipline over excuses." Share this video with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to the channel.